Hello?
Hello, yes?
Yeah, can you open the door? I'm looking for Captain Raposo.
Yeah, you can come in.
All right, thanks. Is he in his office? Where's Captain Raposo?
I don't know where he is.
I heard his voice. What?
No, he...
I hear their voices.
Did he say where he was going to be?
He's with a couple of the other guys here somewhere.
Yeah, 'cause I haven't
It's
seen
in the
him
back room
Yeah, I
somewhere.
haven't seen him in a while, so I'm not even sure.
Yeah, he's probably doing the interview. Would he be back there? I hear them.
Honestly, I wouldn't even be sure. Do you have someone you can call?
Well, they're probably conducting an interview. I called him, I texted him. And the other guys, but I'm just waiting for them to respond.
Yeah, I don't know where he is.
He's here somewhere. I literally hear him. Hey, what's up? How are you?
There, he's on.
I hear his phone ringing. You calling him?
He's going to call him now.
I
You didn't
texted.
knock on that door?
No, I didn't.
They were in there.
Okay, thank you.
Do you hear anything?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear what it is. What is it? Is there a back room?
Record, upload, premiere, replay. Record, upload, premiere, replay. Record, upload, premiere, replay. Record, upload, premiere, replay. Sidewalk drama, raw footage visuals. Caught in action with minimal intervals. Gritty and real, every clip reality. FCP here to bring transparency. Sidewalk drama, raw footage visuals. Caught in action with minimal intervals. Gritty and real, every clip reality. FCP here to bring transparency. Sidewalk drama, raw footage visuals. Caught in action, minimal intervals. FCP here to bring transparency.
Yo, Full Court Press here, live in North Bergen. I'm here with Captain Raposo and your boy Leroy, Truth Investigations. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Big
So
fan.
Thank you, appreciate that. I guess I'll start off with what I like to ask every police officer is name and badge number, please.
My name is Captain George Raposo, badge number 404.
Thank you, appreciate that. So,
I like that. That was a good start.
you like that? All
Yeah.
right.
But did he get all egotistical with you, and did he say, give me your ID, give me your ID?
No, he is right?
Yeah.
Badge number.
Right. Good.
So, this is the captain here. You may have seen a lot of him. He's had a long day having interviews with some people you may know, and I'm sure you'll see that.
Who are they?
Leroy, Truth Investigations, your boy Long Island Audit.
And anything to add to that?
And I just want to add, you guys are more state and national level. I mean, we have local auditors here like Full Court Press. He does a fantastic job, phenomenal job of keeping tabs on North Bergen, and you can speak to him as well. We have frequent conversations. He lets me know when something's not right and we implement change. So I'm hoping later we'll be able to do an interview with him as well.
Yeah, it'd be wonderful. He's got my back all the time. I know he just came in. And by the way, shout out to Full Court Press over there at Scouts, if you would put him on camera. His YouTube is Full Court Press NB, man of high integrity. He always has my back here. We've done a lot of work together. We've been very good friends. And we love to go to the Boulevard Diner in North Bergen as well. Make sure to subscribe to my friend Sean, Long Island Audit, and my friend Full Court Press and NB. And this has been a great opportunity. God bless you all, and we'll see you. Stay tuned for our next videos.
Who's been here a couple of times, and Raposo really put North Bergen on the map as being one of the primary places where our rights are respected and the Constitution is upheld and the police officers honor their oath thanks to his training. So I try to shout him out every time I get the opportunity, because we don't always meet police officers like that, especially as of late when we've been doing a lot of work in Union City. The police officers are good, but the government isn't good. And Captain Raposo is here on behalf of North Bergen with the approval of the mayor, Nick Sacco, and his chief. So we want to thank them for that. So you study constitutional law significantly, right? You're always looking into it. Do you do that just for your own knowledge, or what's the reason that you got interested in the First Amendment?
Well, what I try to do is identify some deficiencies in my knowledge on the laws, and while watching Long Island Audit, I realized I was deficient within the First Amendment. So I took his work product and I worked backwards, and I did some legal research on whether or not what he does, is it acceptable, is it not? And that's how I developed a curriculum which is now being recognized across the nation.
Right. And we've seen some of your training in his videos and Leroy's videos.
Well, I attended
Right.
one of his trainings, and he didn't kick me out because he honored me in integrity. I'm a First Amendment activist, constitutional activist, and he welcomed me to that. He even engaged with me and allowed me to speak at the end of the training to the group at large, who ended up applauding for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's important for the people to know is I met both of you at random. He obviously crashed one of my trainings. I personally thought he was just trying to get some views based on like, oh, this is Captain Raposo. They're recognizing him across the country for his First Amendment trainings. Let's see what he's all about, because I didn't even know who he was. And it's actually the complete opposite. I encourage auditors to come to my training, give me their feedback on how I can improve the training, how I can make it better. Yeah, we have the academic aspect of it, the legal research, but I need your guys' inputs, because you're the boots on the street. You're the guys putting yourselves on the line and doing what you do, which is allowing us to improve our quality of service. And then you as well. I don't know if you remember, but you were doing an audit on one of our jobs, and you probably thought I was going to kick you out. Instead, I introduced myself, said I knew who you were. We can't require you guys to have ID.
Right, unless we're arrested.
DMV,
Yeah, all of it.
all that.
Yeah, it's a lot to know.
Supported with the law, case
Oh,
law,
this is the best conversation I had.
You got my number.
Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
You want, you can come to one of our trainings.
Yeah, cool. I'd love to.
We're
Yeah.
super transparent. We're trying to
That's
take
how.
the lead.
That's good. Yeah.
We don't care. Like you.
Oh,
come on
that's awesome.
camera,
Yeah, you
we
know what?
encourage it, because we don't have anything to hide.
Exactly. If you have
Yeah.
nothing to hide, it doesn't matter.
And you know, we have body cameras.
It's a running anyway. It's public record, right? All right, brother. Nice talking to you.
A pleasure.
All right.
And at that time, you
We
were
had a great
fairly new.
conversation. Right.
We had a great
Very good,
conversation. Told you I support you, and both of you's first day, I gave you my phone number and told you any input you have for me, please give it to me, because I want to improve the quality of service that we give at North Bergen.
Right, and you said to me, you know, that you appreciate what we do because it makes your officers better. It makes your department
1,000,000%.
better. And I respected that immensely. North Bergen is accredited, right? What does that mean?
It's an accredited agency. We got to go to the chiefs of police, where there's certain standards that we have to uphold. We have inspectors who come to the agency. They have full access to everything, every document we have, and they basically do a score. And most of the time, we're almost in the 100th percentile in compliance with all the accreditation standards.
Awesome. Why do you think transparency is important? With the police specifically?
Well, as I stated in an earlier interview, transparency is important because I don't really think it's a dangerous cop or a dangerous doctor or a dangerous White Castle employee or whatever you want to do. What's dangerous about the situation is the individual who thinks what he's doing is correct, but the individual is dangerous because when you don't know what you don't know, you're really stuck to what you believe, and if you don't have an open mind as to what's correct and what's incorrect or how we could do better, the dangerousness comes in the fact that they're not learning from their mistakes. And one way to learn from our mistakes, obviously there's education, but in being transparent and allowing another point of view to tell you how you can do better.
So with that, points of view. Within the 1A community, there are opposing points of view on the relationships that auditors and activists should have with police. Do you encounter the same thing within, on your side of that situation?
I think the question is more twofold. I don't personally encounter it because I have great support from the mayor, Mayor Nick Sacco, the police commissioner, Alan Pascal, and the chief of police, Robert Farley Jr. Leroy could attest to it. I think he sent an email either Monday or Tuesday, and by Wednesday the mayor spoke to me personally and told me we're approved, and not only are we approved, but everything's on the table. There's no limitations as to what you guys can ask or not ask. There was no preparation ahead of time, and it was like, hey, there's an open invitation for you guys, and you can ask away. So I don't really feel that resistance because, I mean, on the food chain, I'm pretty high up, and I already have the support from the top command. But as you see a lot in videos across the country, maybe not in New Jersey, but other states, you do see where there may be some resistance, and I attribute that more to an educational factor.
So how do you train your officers on the Constitution and the First Amendment? Sit them down like in a classroom, or is it out in the field, or what's your method of training?
I do a lot. It's bifurcated. I do both in the field because I'm the street crimes commander, so I'm anti-crime unit. So I work Thursday to Sunday from 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. So during that time, that's the busiest time of the night. I take the opportunity when I see a correctable moment to teach people, because you have the academic portion, but then you also have to be able to apply that. And that's probably the hardest part, is learning some legal academia and then trying to apply that into a practical sense. So we have classrooms which started with very small groups, sometimes 4 or 5 people, but now my classrooms have grown to maybe 50 or 60 people at a time. What we try to do is go over the history, how we got to where we got, where we came from, how we're not going to repeat history, and I go through different levels. My trainings mainly consist of more national stuff like Long Island Auditor, Sean Paul Reyes. Then I like to do a lot of state stuff with Leroy Truth, and then I also use your content on the local level for North Bergen, which I think people take the most from your content because it hits home real hard.
I think they can relate to it.
And I think it also hits well with the police officers because you're extremely well spoken, you're intelligent, and you don't try to interfere. You just you let the officer make the decision for himself as to which way this is going to go.
Right. So regarding that training, is it, from your knowledge, is it typical that a lot of departments in Hudson County give that type of training to the officers?
Yes, absolutely. Most of the departments within Hudson County, including the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office, they've reached out to us in North Bergen, the chief and myself, and they've allowed me to come to their department and do the training, including Union City, where I've trained a lot of officers from Union City.
Right, and we've seen that training because they've been implementing it, and the police officers have been doing well there. I can't say the same for some other government employees, but the police officers, they've honored their oath with us, and they've treated us with respect every time we've been there. So, it's in my opinion, it's working. So how can auditors or First Amendment activists help bridge the gap with the police officers, the local police officers here? What can we do to foster a healthy environment and relationship?
I think you guys are doing that already, and the simple reason that, as you see when you guys came into North Bergen, the officers were asking for pictures for you, they wanted to meet you guys, they wanted to be introduced to you. So the product that you guys are putting out, again, Long Island Audit Leroy Truth, Full Court Press MB. You guys are very respectful. You're not overbearing, and you let the situation decide itself. That's in and of itself bridging the gap, because it's allowing the officers to see where they go wrong, and it's allowing individuals like myself to improve the training.
Yeah, that's one reason why I choose to conduct myself that way, so that there's really no question if anything goes left, where it went wrong. I don't want to be the one that's blamed. Well, look what you did here or what you did there. So it's important to me and also I want to be a leader eventually, so that I can say I set an example for the other guys coming up and doing this. Because Long Island Motor was one of the guys that I looked to, that I learned from, as well as Leroy. I mean, it's from my point, it makes me very happy that I went from watching these guys, right, to now working with these guys and being peers and learning from them. Because every situation I learn from them, and I think the same way they're that to me, you're that to your charges, subordinates. You're that for them, so they look to you for that. And I think you're setting a great example. I want to say thank you. I appreciate you on behalf of myself and the 1A community, and just United States citizens in general. We appreciate officers like you. And I just wanted to say salute, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, thank you. And again, I get a lot of the credit because I'm on here. I'm the face on most of these YouTube videos, but I mean, really the credit has to go to the mayor, the commissioner, the chief. They're the ones that allow me to do what I'm doing. They're the ones that allow me to be in the field on my own request to be in the field. And then also the credit goes to all the officers. I implement the training. It's up to them to listen to it. And I guess I have enough credibility where they follow the training. So really, I'm the last person that should be getting the credit. It really goes off to my bosses, and then to the officers who go out there and prove that the training works when you go and you do your audits. And then we have frequent get-togethers. This is what went good. This is what could be improved. And I mean, you could attest for the public. How many times have you told me something and we've corrected it?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and that's why I know you're the real deal with that, because I came to you. I told you where things needed improvement, and you addressed it.
You're getting a shout out. See, the public recognizes you.
And you addressed it, and it was taken care of, and I saw it with my own eyes. So I think that's great. I expect to see me still popping up randomly,
that Jersey guy, he did an audit. I didn't know he was coming. We evaluated it. He gave me a thumbs up. I know we did a good job. Shout out to that Jersey guy. I think he did a fantastic job. I believe.
Shout out to that Jersey guy.
He was probably one of his first audits. You couldn't tell from the audit. He did a great job. Nobody knew it was coming. And again, I encourage that transparency from the aspect of let me know how we're doing, and we'll improve the training curriculum. Every day is a new day, and every day we got to do better. And again, I can't say it enough times. The credit doesn't go to me, even though I get a lot of love throughout the nation with you, with Leroy, and with Sean. But the credit goes to the people who are putting it into action, because without them, I'm not where I am today.
Right. No, respect. Listen, I just want to do my part to continue to bridge the gap as you're doing your part, and if we all work together, we can help affect change and have it spread like wildfire. That's the goal. Have it spread to the neighboring communities, neighboring towns, counties, states, et cetera, et cetera.
And I think it's important for your viewers to know that I had a meeting yesterday with the chief, and we're going to be implementing with the new licensing that the state brought down on police officers. We're going to have a lot of training regarding arrest, search, and seizure, Miranda warnings, all things that you guys are looking to see. Do we follow the law? Do we not follow the law? And you guys are invited to my training. You can record it. You can decide, is it good, is it bad, does it need to be improved? And we'll take it from there. We'll keep improving the product.
And that's what transparency is about. An open invitation for us to come, check out their trainings, check out what they're doing, how they're doing it. And that's what we want to see more of around the country, around the state, and a lot more of that, man. So whoever's watching, learn from him, and learn from the community here. Hopefully you can see how to do it right. So that's what it is. I'm Full Court Press here in North Bergen with Captain George Raposo, Leroy True.
I just want to give one thank you or a couple thank yous. I am where I am today thanks to Larry Holtz, Espos Training Centers, Director Nick Reiner of Broadway Police. He's one of my mentors. Deputy Chief David Corbacero, and retired Captain Arthur Bell.
Shout out to them.
They were extremely instrumental in my growth along the years at different points in my career. And I just want to thank them publicly because it's not all about me. It's about our field training officers, our mentors, our big brothers. We can only be as successful as the people in front of us help us to be.
Right. That applies to all of us, man. You stand on the shoulders of the guy that came before you.
Exactly.
And
I'm hoping to do the same for the younger guys.
absolutely. And I see you doing it. So
Thank you.
Full Court Press MB.
David said earlier about the new law that the governor put out with the open request. A lot of my stuff is in the field and protecting your rights. So even with the gun permits, my training is more geared towards the officers not violating you because you have a machete, you have a knife, you have a gun permit, whatever the case may be. That's what we're training them on. Because in the past, we were always trained, guy with a knife, guy with a gun, we all come, we grab the guy, we throw him to the ground, search him, okay, boom, 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 what do we do?
So did you see the body cam footage that was released from Buckhead, Georgia, with the bar, where the guy was
Not yet.
but you're aware of it? Are you,
I mean, you could.
So there was a situation where there was a guy in the bar. He was drunk. According to his parents, he was having a mental health episode. But regardless, the employees of the bar called the police. He had a gun in his belt, and he was laying on the bar. He allegedly stole a bottle of alcohol from behind the bar and sat there drinking it with the gun in his waist. They responded to the scene. When they got there, he immediately put his hands up, went to go on the floor. They went to grab him, and I guess he kind of started wiggling. They pushed him onto the floor, but he was moving his hands in the general direction of his waist where the gun was. So they tased him. I think they used, escalation. Right? They have an escalation scale that they use. They tased him.
In Jersey, it's what's reasonable.
What's reasonable? I don't know what it is in Georgia.
Minimum amount of force that's reasonable.
So they tased him. He broke away, started running. He ran. He was running towards the exit. As he was approaching the exit and the police officers were chasing him, at some point he took the gun out of his waistband, had it in his hand. A security guard from the bar tackled him. The gun went off, I don't know, intentionally or accidentally, shot that security guard. And at that point, they loaded like 2 clips into him. I think it was a total of 25 rounds or something like that. So I would say, I know you have to see the video to give an opinion on it.
Yeah, so New Jersey, especially at least in North Bergen, what we're trying to teach people with regards to the new laws, they got rid of the justifiable need. There's a lot of new laws regarding the right to bear arms, which based on the case law does not only include firearms, it includes other weapons that you're able to carry in public. Officers are generally concerned with officer safety. Again, I'm out here as well. So this is not an office guy telling people, oh, officer safety out the window. Right. So what we try to do in line with the New Jersey Attorney General Guideline Use of Force Policy is we try to have a compromise with, we have a duty to investigate and interview individuals, but we try to keep time and distance. So maybe if we're in a situation where we get a call for a guy with a knife, machete, or whatever kind of weapon that the officer may determine he's not yet sure, is it a violation of law, is it a risk, what is it? Maybe we try to use the police car as a barrier so we can have a more calm and safer conversation. Because obviously we had a conversation earlier about some states putting laws into effect where you have to keep like 20 to 25 feet away. I think that comes with the danger in a knife attack. They have studies, where 20 feet away, if I just charge at you, obviously action is quicker than reaction. I can maybe get to you and cut you in that 25-foot, 20-foot span quicker than you could react, which leads to a lot of deadly force situations. So what we're trying to implement now, both in the classroom setting and during our qualifications, is we're trying to teach officers to try to put barriers in between themselves, which to give them more time to react and make a better decision.
Right. Some kind of cover.
Correct.
Right.
So they still have an obligation to speak to that person. You know, someone might say, hey, this guy's waving a knife around. We don't know if it's a mental health issue. We don't know what it is. So we have an obligation to speak to that person, but we also have an obligation to uphold their constitutional right to bear arms. So what we try to do is, like I said, you know, it could be anything. It could, whatever environmental factors we have, we try to keep distance and time in line with the use of force policy.
Can I point out the obvious? If somebody really wanted to hurt you, the 25-foot rule is not going to stop them. If somebody
Well,
actually wanted to hurt you,
With a
they're not
knife,
gonna-
maybe. I
No,
mean,
they would just go 10 feet and then.
Yeah, but what you guys have to understand is there's the practicality of the field, and we still have, again, most people don't want to hear, oh yeah, you know, officer safety. They want to hear that their rights are being upheld.
we want to hear public safety.
Correct.
Yeah.
The public's rights are being upheld. So we have to try to balance both in a reasonable manner. So what we're doing is we're trying to put barriers in between us. We're not necessarily retreating, but we're trying to create space. So if we do have to react, we have time in our favor.
Is retreating an option on the table?
Well, officers are not obligated to retreat, but what we do want to do is take a step back and give ourselves time to make the best decision possible. Okay. If me and you are encountered like this, which years ago was the standard encounter,
Right.
which you see across the country, you see it in,
Right.
back in the day in New Jersey,
Right.
this doesn't give me much time to react,
Right, not at all.
especially if I'm not trained in some kind of martial art or
arts or-
something
right,
like
right,
that.
right.
So what we try to do is create more space, put a barrier. Sir, how you doing? What's going on today? Just to let you know, I'm Captain Jorge Raposo, badge number 404. We got a call of a man with a knife. You fit the description. We want to explain everything. We want to explain everything in a language that the person understands. There's mental health effects, there's substance abuse effects. All that goes into consideration that we have to make an evaluation really quickly as to what's going on. And we don't want the person to feel we're a threat. We want to de-escalate the situation, and the best way to do that is to speak nice and calmly, but the officer also has to have time to make that decision, and that's best through positioning.
How long would you say
We call it tactical positioning.
How long would you say it takes the average officer to develop that skill of that de-escalation, right? Of talking in that manner, of knowing how to assess the situation and keep it calm? You know, because let's face it, the training for most officers is what, 6 months in the academy or something?
I went 6 months in the
And
academy.
then you have a field training officer who kind of
Correct.
observes how you respond to things. But you're still, you know, going to the call and expected to perform, right? Like,
it doesn't matter.
provide your customer
Yeah.
service, right?
Yeah.
So how long does it take the average officer to develop that skill? And are there some that never do?
I mean, that's a little bit difficult to answer, like in the sense of I could answer that question because I've been ambushed.
Right.
You can look it up, 2017.
This is around the corner from my house, a couple blocks down, and it's like SWAT team and police all over the place, and a whole bunch of the SWAT team with all machine guns just went down the block here. They got roped off, so I can't get them, but I'll show you what I can from here. So you got some emergency vehicles here, then you got the street blocked off here, and they all went down that block there. Just more emergency vehicles all over here, and you got this sheriff's truck. I think that's what that is, and here's the SWAT truck. and they all had like, I guess, riot gear, or I'm not sure, shields and machine guns, and they went down that block. I actually heard the word hostage. I don't know what it's pertaining to, but I don't know what's going on. This is 57th Street, Kennedy Boulevard, North Bergen. Right by the 7-Eleven. What's this? The Avalon buildings. There goes some more of these SWAT members going over there. I mean, they prepared. Looks like they're prepared for anything right now. We got another sheriff's truck coming right now, pulling up. Right here. So I got the same view as news here. Was setting up right in front of me, so I kind of picked the ideal spot, I think. Probably should do this for a living, huh?
Did you see anything?
Only thing I saw is pretty much this. When I this has been going on since probably when I drove by. It was about 3:45. I actually I called in a tip.
Did you see a car that looked suspicious?
I saw them open somebody's door here, but they said something to them, and then I guess they let them go. I did see all the SWAT guys go down the block, and I heard them say the word hostage. So.
Okay.
According to some insider information that I have as the fantastic journalist that I am, there is a domestic hostage situation, and I'm not going to reveal my sources, but there's a domestic hostage situation here in 57th and Kennedy, West New York. And they got the place surrounded with SWAT team and police. And it's been going on since when I first drove by at about 3:45. So that's almost 2 hours now, I would say. I don't know when it actually started. So.
In West New York, myself and another officer were ambushed, and I was able to see how I reacted during the ambush. Some officers never encounter a deadly force situation, so it's hard to say.
Which is great.
Yeah, exactly. You want to go your career without it, but you come to work every day knowing that it may be a situation where you encounter that. So it's going to vary officer to officer. Obviously, whatever training they have. Some officers have more training than others. Some officers are calmer than others, but there's no really set timeline. It's more, I like to think that North Bergen officers are going to react more appropriately because we give a lot of training.
Right.
So I can't,
training.
yeah, we're always training. As I explained to you, we're going to do more training. So I can't say what another department trains and how long they take, but I want to say that North Bergen officers are generally going to be ready sooner than later because we have an FTO program out of the academy. We have more training if they're a little uncomfortable on their own, and they have numerous supervisors throughout the night, and on the weekends they have the street crimes unit shadowing them on these higher profile jobs that could include higher force situations or deadly force situations where the more experienced officers will take command. For example, like if I'm working, I'm the highest commanding officer, I would be the incident commander for that scene, and the decisions will come from me.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
So we like to layer a lot of supervision. We're not like some towns where the senior officer is in charge of the shift. We layer a lot of supervisors over supervisors. We have overlap shifts.
I think that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually essential, right? Because you need the guidance. You need the guidance sometimes.
So on any given night, you could have 1 captain, 2 lieutenants, 4 sergeants, just in a period of time, supervision between the road and headquarters.
And what's the policy of somebody asking for a supervisor? What is...
Everybody has a right to ask for a supervisor, and we have to comply with that. Okay. We don't get to make that decision.
And where does it stop? Does it stop at the sergeant, or if the sergeant, if ask, because I've had this situation.
Correct. It would really determine on your level of satisfaction. If you're not satisfied with the sergeant, the lieutenant should respond. A lot of times they're asking for a supervisor higher than a lieutenant, and if I'm working, I respond.
Right.
If unfortunately they're not happy with what I have to say, then they probably have to talk on a Monday morning with the chief, because it's the chief, the deputy chief, and then the captain.
Right. And now there's only one deputy chief, correct?
There's Chief Robert Farley, and then there's Deputy Chief David Corpusero, and then I share the captain duties with a couple other captains.
There's 4 total captains?
Yeah.
4 total captains. All right, cool. So thanks again for the extended interview.
No, that's how we conduct our training, and
I'm pretty sure that I could talk to you. If, I have questions for you for like forever.
Well, you've called me at 2 a.m. sometimes, and I've answered you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can never say I've ever avoided you.
You're always very responsive to me, and always receptive to what I'm saying, and very knowledgeable. So,
and again, I have a lot of trainings coming up, and we'll work it out with schedule. I mean, you could attest. Have I invited you to other trainings in the past?
Always, yeah. Even before Long Island Audit came,
correct.
You told me come through, and then he scooped me. Yeah. Long Island Audit.
I saw you on a
Long Island Audit.
I saw you on a stop the other day. I said, "You coming? You coming?"
Did you see me?
Remember? I asked you if you were coming today.
Oh yeah, that's
I made sure you knew about it. It was open to you as well.
Yeah, there was another one. I think I did. Do they call you when I do when I record? Does the word get around?
I mean, they'll let me know that an auditor came through, but it's not something like that's breaking news.
Right.
It's like, oh, hey, did you hear we had an auditor today?
Cool. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, how'd it go? And they're like, well, as far as we know, it went good. I like to think that North Bergen's used to it between my videos, your audits, everybody's audits.
I think they've got.
I think they're like over it. And they're like, oh they're doing what they're doing. Just let them do their job. And
it's amazing the different reactions you get. Sometimes a lot of the officers say, "What's up? Hey, how you doing?" And then someone just kind of like silence. And I usually won't speak to them unless they speak to me.
Again, I'm a firm believer that a lot of these guys appreciate what you do. I said it at the start of the interview. You pull up to the police department and people are asking to take pictures with you.
Right.
I mean, if we didn't support you, they wouldn't be asking for pictures with you. You're not going to get everybody to support you because that's just the nature of every business.
That's how the game goes, man.
But for the most part, it comes from the top, and the top has obviously implemented that they respect people's rights and it won't be tolerated otherwise.
And that's the important thing to know, that it won't be tolerated. That you know what I mean? That there'll be repercussions if you don't do your job correctly on the oath, and if you violate any citizens' rights. So, that's why we're out here for that. So, thanks again, brother.
Yeah, of course.
You hungry? We eating? What are we doing here?
Whatever.
We gotta get food.
Gotta get food. Come on.
Let's go.
Can you barely stand?
Yeah, of course. Look at him. He's malnourished.
I can barely stand.